Wiley. Jason right. Jason Armand was right. Jason Lee was wrong. Everybody thinks that has no intentions of doing business. You go on there, you go in an office in a boardroom. How many people with a long table with business people on both sides, mostly white Americans, and they putting up things and you acting like a dumbass? It follows you. I wish I could take it back so bad. The crowd built me up. Get her, Sharrell, get her, Sharrell. And I can say how right I was because this person did me wrong or this is it follows you. Another thing is in your journey in a career, you never know when you're going to see this person again. And I'll give you an example. And I'm going to be honest. I'll be honest. So I've been in this business a long time. Now, I've made several fools of myself publicly and had fallen out with people. Well, I've made real connections. I've made real connections with people. Okay, so fine. So later on down the road, this one person that I'm fighting with, you know who I'm talking about, he has a substance abuse problem. Okay, so I worked with him. We didn't get along. And then he tries to clean up his act and move on. Somebody calls me. Hey, Sharrell, have you ever dealt with this person? I ain't forgot what he did to me. I have not forgot. They said, well, do you recommend this person? No. Why not? Because he didn't burn bridges with me. Does that make sense to y'all?
Yeah, it makes sense.
You never know when you go. Maybe one day Armand gonna need Jason again. Or vice versa. You never know. You never burn bridges. Because that means you can't go back for nothing. And that person never forgets. They never forget what you did. I mean, please. I mean, I'm just trying to talk some sense into people. But, you know, people gonna call on and do what they gonna do. But I'm telling you from my experience, it never paid for me to act like that in public. No matter how right I was, how wrong I was, it never paid. When I thought I was helping somebody, and the last thing they tell me is thank you. I've had people do this. I had people pull my private messages and go down the list and read. I ain't forgot that. No intentions of doing business. Didn't Jason Lee throw a whole drink in a woman's face on primetime TV? Yes. Yes. So because he threw a drink in somebody's face means that he got to keep acting like that for the rest of his life? Y'all don't get it. You can't be acting like that in public, in my opinion. But, you know, I will never do it again. And I'm telling you this from experience. That shit comes back to haunt you. Not with the chat. Not with Jason, with people who's watching that you don't even know is watching.
And then typically it don't happen the next day.
No.
It don't happen the next day where it come back to haunt you like that. And
next year or two.
I get it. Because you never know when it's time going to be. But I'm sure Armon.
Hi, you guys. So I wanted to come on and touch on Sharrell's World. I think her name is Sharrell. I'm subscribed to her channel. I do watch her channel based on what she's talking about. She normally covers reality stars, reality TV, for the most part. But I guess she would still be classified as an entertainment blogger. And she was talking about Armon and Jason. And she was saying how Armon should not have responded to Jason in the manner in which he responded to him. But I think that he handled it really well because he still showed Jason respect. He thanked him for what he was trying to do for him. And then he just proceeded to explain what happened between them and what happened within their relationship. It's kind of like the Kanye West thing as well. And then we're listening. Kanye has one story and Jason Lee has a completely different story. There's nothing to fight about. This is the way I see it. This is the way you see it. And this is why we can't work together. Armon did not like go in on him the way he could have gone in on him, and he made it a point to not only say the things that he was saying, but to also show the receipts of why he was saying those things. And so I think that anybody watching that, if they are watching him, as she says, they will recognize the situation for what it is. And like I said, he still was respectful. And a lot of people would not have handled that the way in which Armon handled going in on Jason. And Jason is not innocent. He's been saying things. And I also want to say this because people are kind of trying to make Jason sound like he is such an important figure in Hollywood. And I don't think that. I don't believe that, because if he was, he would not be in the spaces that he's in. And, he just wouldn't have time for a lot of the stuff that he has going on out here in these YouTube streets. And that's just my opinion. So I don't, he's not Stephen Hill of BET. He's not Oprah. He's not Tyler Perry or anyone, the woman from Netflix or anyone in that manner, to where people need to fear crossing them. So yeah, then Sharrell is saying something about suing Wiley. I don't know what happened. You guys know, let me know in the comments. But I see Wiley is saying something about somebody is going to sue him over his opinion. I don't know. And Wiley and Armon really don't even get along. So I think that he's just trying to defend the fact that Armon was right to kind of speak up for himself, especially when someone's casting a negative light on you and you claim all these people are watching Armon. Well, he don't need to have them out here believing the stuff Jason putting out here, right? So I don't know. I don't really get where she's coming from with that. I understand what she's saying. Let me make sure I make that clear. I do understand what she's saying. When you're trying to get into a business, you do have to get along with people. You definitely need to show that you have the ability to show some form of loyalty to people, and that you're trustworthy, right? And so I get what she's saying, but this is not that. This is not that. This is some YouTube street stuff that Armon just went on and handled. And like I said, with Jason saying certain things anyway, yeah, Armon should probably come behind him and clean up what he's saying. That's how I took it. Now, I'm not saying she don't have a point about how you should, carry yourself, or the image you may want to try to put out here, especially if you do have certain people watching you. I'm not saying I disagree with that. I'm saying, speaking just to the Jason Lee and to the Armon Wiggins situation, which is very different to me from what she's talking about. And that's my opinion. And then you had Chelsea, who also worked with Jason Lee, who also has her own story out here about her experience with working with Jason Lee. So I don't think people really think that Armon is, overreacting, because there are other people as well who've said things about their experiences with Jason. But yeah, that's my opinion. You guys can let me know what you think. And what do you think about people filing lawsuits over people chiming in on the conversation about who's right and who's wrong with the Jason and Armon situation? And I'll see you guys in the next video.